Okay, hi guys, this is part 3. I'm trying to run this real quick because it's almost getting like to the part where I kind of want to sleep because I am not staying home for like my morning classes. I'm actually going in, so better to like sleep early and then study those first few periods. Anyways, back to this. Okay, so I wrote some notes while I was looking at some stuff. So something that I saw on the Khan Academy quiz, I am not sure if they're going to have this trick type of thing on the actual CSP quiz, but the trick was there were numbers and it asked me like which of these are examples of strings, and one of the numbers had like quotations over it, and I'm like, oh wait, anything with quotations is a string. So I would just say, remember that even if it's numbers, if there are quotations around it, it is still a string. Okay, a parameter, it's a placeholder for an argument and it's in like a function. So it could be like find name, parentheses, name1, comma, name2. That is an example of a parameter. An argument is the actual value being passed through the parameter. So if it's like Nyah and Cal, that's an argument. The procedure is the function, and it's like the block of code that carries out a task. So it would be like some example of a function, guys. The type of like variables and stuff. Let me double check that these are indeed what we call them. Yeah, data types of variables. Okay. Booleans, which is basically a true or false. Strings, again, quotation marks, anything in quotation marks, and integers / numbers, anything that's a number that is not in quotation marks. Okie dokie. So let's look at this. Understanding pseudocode. Okay, that's basically just like, it's not actual code. A helpful part to it is that it has aspects of like different styles of coding and people can understand it. Like they can look through it's like, oh, that's what that means. Yeah, storing data and variables. Basically, we did that. Assigning a variable, you basically do like variable names equals, and then if it's a string, quotation marks, and then the semicolon thingy. I don't know if it's called a semicolon, but that thing, you get my drift. Oh, mathematical expressions. That is an important one, I would say. When it is like something like A mod B, that's pretty important. It just means the remainder. So if it's 5 mod 4, the answer is 1 because 4 goes into 5 and then you have like one number left. You have 1 left. If it's like 6 mod 2, 0. Because you don't have anything left after that. You have no remainder. We all know how addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, we all know how that works. Another thing is, if it doesn't explicitly say that this counts, this does not count. Which is why I got one of my practice questions wrong on Khan Academy. So there could be parentheses around a number, like, and you would know yourself to multiply it, but the computer doesn't know that unless the actual multiplication symbol is in those parentheses. Yeah, I got that question wrong. Storing strings and variables. My battery. Whew. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. There's basically like, okay, if A equals, and I saw this a lot, B equals 4, A equals B, B equals B. If you have something like this, A equals 3, B equals 4, A equals B, B equals B, and then it asks like you to display, or it's like, what is the answer? So since we have A, being equal to B. My dad's calling. Okay, since we have A being equal to B, A is now 4 because that's B's value, and since B stays B, B is also 4, so it's 4 and 4. So that's basically what that is. Oh, concatenation is basically the adding of two strings. So if you have like, let me think here. Okay. If you have like a fruit, it's like apple. And then you have those R-U-I-T. And then plus that. Yeah, there is a comma there actually. Okay, that works. And then there's a comma. This is my very bad handwriting. So basically, if fruit equals apple, and then you have variable food equals fruit plus, and in quotation marks, pie, then fruit is apple. So when you concatenate this, it's apple pie. That is basically that part. It's pretty light, I would say. Substrings. Ooh. Yes. Okay, so a substring is basically, it could be like string 3, 2. Yeah. Okay, so it could basically be like my name substring 3, 2. So you basically look to what is like in like the third place. Like you go 3 places since this is 3. 1, 2, 3, and you go to H, and since it's 2, that's the length. So AH, you keep the AH, and that's like what you have. Sometimes you might concat like substrings. Like if you have like yo-yo and you have substring 1 1, and you name that like thing 1, and then you name substring 2 from my name thing 2, and you concat them both, it would be like yeah. So yeah, that's an example. I saw a lot of those actually on practices. Ooh, conditionals. Um Okay, so conditionals are basically just like, if this condition is met, this happens. If this condition is not met, then this happens. That's pretty light and self-explanatory. Let's see here. Nested conditionals. Okay, so in Khan Academy's words, sure. Wait, I'll get it. Just put it on the dining table and I'll get it later.
I'll cut a little to try.
Okay. We looked at it. Okay. So basically, in Khan Academy's words, not mine, when a program selects one of many paths, it can use nested or chained conditionals. When a program only selects one of 2 paths, it can use a simple conditional, which is an if or else statement. So like, oh, there are a lot of nested conditionals on the test, I think. So the example here is like, if number is greater than 0, number sign equals positive, else if number is less than 0, number sign equals negative, else number sign equals neutral. That shows like the 3 different options and paths the code could take when it's running. it shows like the 3 different results you can get from it. The or operator, it's like if it is sunny or if it is 70 degrees outside and the result equals it's a good day. So it could be sunny and it could be 50 degrees and it's still a good day. It could be 70 degrees and rainy and it would still be a good day. If you have and in there, it would be like temperature equals 70 and weather equals sunny. And both of those conditions have to be met in order for you to get the result, it's a good day. That's basically the or and operators. You see those a lot. So if you don't know them by now, I would definitely study them. Oh yeah. The return value, basically, it's at like, most commonly it's at like the end of a code. So like you get the result and then return, and the code just like, it holds that value is basically what the return does. Let me see if I can go into more detail. The return statement in code is used to send a value back from a function to wherever the function was called, ChatGPT. So yeah, that's the more in-depth way to say it. You can tell I'm speaking through this a little. I'm going to go through the vocabulary from some of the resources my friend sent me after this. Okay, so we can go on to the vocabulary. Okay, basically, let's see here. Okay, so this comes from ChatGPT because I couldn't find a good way to explain this. In code, abstraction, which is like something that you'll see a lot, means hiding the complicated parts of how something works and only showing how to use it. So basically, if you have one part for a code of like maybe just like an addition type thing, and you have that function, and you make it into a function so that you can call it multiple times instead of writing that code over and over and over again. Like you can call it 10 times, all you have to do is add numbers, you just have to be like add numbers, and you don't have to write like the actual code for it every time. That's basically that. A heuristic is a problem-solving approach. I went over lossless and loss decompression in my other video. An algorithm, basically just a set of instructions to get to a certain goal. So like the functions and stuff, those are like algorithms. It's just telling you have to do this, 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 and this to achieve or find the result of this. A loop, and it's commonly used in like iteration in something. So like iteration uses for statements, and it's like repeating until you get the result that like satisfies the do this until this, so it's like if you're trying to run it until the like triangle gets to like the top box, that's basically iteration. Like you're repeating the step over and over again until you get to that goal. Sequencing is just the step-by-step in an algorithm. It's like first set the name to like 0 or name to like nothing, and then you get it from like the user text and then you display results. Obviously this isn't very accurate in code, but like that's an idea of what sequencing is. Selection, because I know what it is. I just want a better. Okay, selection is how, in a simple definition, is choosing which code to run based off of a condition. So it's like if list length is greater than 9, get list, and then you can put that into one of your filtered lists. That's basically, it's light. And I will go over those. Okay. Yep. But that's unit 3 in Khan Academy. So I'll see you guys for the next one. And if you have more you wanted to add, because I know I went over this like really fast, you can put it in the comments and stuff.